Hello students, today we are going to discuss the next part of the second chapter, that is scientific management principles. See, the first part we have already discussed what is the meaning of principles. Like principles are the general guidelines, the statement of truth that helps the manager to take decision. This we have already done. Then we have done the general management principles given by Henry Fayol. Okay, and there are 14 principles. Now today we are going to start the scientific management principles given by F.W. Taylor. Now F.W. Taylor, he was born in the year 1856 in USA and he was a mechanical engineer. Okay, so he gave these principles. What is this principles? So scientific management principles can be defined as application of science for each and every element of management. Means what? This scientific management principle says that scientific tools, methods should be applied in management. That means every aspect of management, every decision of management should be based on scientific method. It should be based on some logic, some reason should be there, and nothing or no decision in an organization should be based on the will and wishes of the manager. His perception, his experience, it should not be based on his wishes, his will, okay? But it should be based on science. It should be based on the use of scientific tools, and then the manager should take decision in a particular situation. Now, F.W. Taylor, he has given few principles and he has given few techniques also. Now, techniques we'll do in the next class. Today we'll discuss the principles given by F.W. Taylor. Now, there are 4 principles which he has given. First is science, not rule of thumb. Second is harmony, not discord. Then cooperation, not individualism. And then the fourth one is development of each and every personnel to their greatest efficiency and prosperity. Okay, so these are the 4 principles given by F.W. Taylor, which we will discuss in detail. So the first principle of scientific management is science, not rule of thumb. So this principle says that each job should be based on scientific inquiry and not on intuition, experience and hit and miss method. As we have discussed just now, that scientific management principle says that there should be decisions based on scientific tools, scientific methods. Means what? Any manager in an organization, every manager in an organization should take decision using some scientific method. Scientific inquiry should be there. He should never take decision based on his past experience. Okay, that in the previous company or earlier when this type of situation arose, I took decision like this and this was successful. Okay, it should not be based on his experience, but he should conduct some inquiry in the present situation, in this current situation of the company, and then after conducting the inquiry, he should come up with the conclusion and then he should take decision related to that. That means it should not be based on intuition that okay, I feel like I should take this type of decision. It should not be like that. Then on the experience also, past experience should not be the basis of taking decision, and hit and miss method. Okay, let's try this one. If it works, it's okay. Otherwise, we'll try other technique or we'll do something else. So it should not be based on this. But there should be scientific inquiry. Means what? There should not be rule of thumb. That means rule of thumb should not be there. Now, what do you mean by rule of thumb? Rule of thumb means dictatorship. Okay, that I'm the boss of this department, so whatever I say, all the employees should follow my instruction, and whatever I am saying is correct because it's based on my experience and I feel like this. So there should be no rule of thumb. That means dictatorships should not be there. Okay, every decision should be based on cause and effect relationship. What is said? That it should be based on cause and effect relationship. This should be the basis of taking decisions. Okay, next comes harmony, not discord. The second principle is harmony, not discord. means organization should work in such a way that there should be no conflict, no misunderstanding, no rivalry in the organization. Okay, there should be harmony and proper understanding. Okay, if the workers, if the employees and the management, they will work in harmony or in peace with each other, they will understand each other's problem, they will cooperate with each other. So if proper understanding will be there, then the organization can achieve its objectives. So there should be harmony, not discord. No rivalry, no conflict, but harmony and proper understanding. So no rivalry, no conflict. Okay. Now in this harmony, not discord, a very important concept is mental revolution. What is the meaning of this? It says a complete, mental revolution says complete change in the outlook and attitude of whom? Whose outlook, dash and dash I am writing. There are two sections or two sectors, two group of people whose attitude and outlook we have to change. Okay, there should be a complete change in the attitude and outlook of workers, or you can say employees and management. Okay, so what the management wants, what is the main aim of management of a company? Management says we have to earn more and more of profits, and they feel that the workers, they are not doing anything. Whatever profit is, it is due to their planning, their everything. Okay, whatever it is being done is done by the management, and the workers, they feel that they are working so hard for the company, they are earning so much profit, but they are getting a regular income, that is they are getting their salary only. That means there is the clash, there is dispute in management and in between management and worker. The management, they always feel that the workers are good for nothing, they are not doing anything. Okay, we are just giving them money, they are sitting, they are not working properly, they are not efficient. Okay, and the workers, what they feel that we are working so much for the company is earning profit because of us, but we are always underpaid. They feel that only we are getting the salary, we are always underpaid. So there should be change in the outlook of both the sections. The management should share the gains with the workers. See, if the management will start sharing gains with the worker, they will get the feeling of ownership. Okay, they will feel like, okay, it's our company, we are working and we are getting the part of profit. So the management should start sharing profits with the workers, and the workers, they should work efficiently. They should feel that this company is our company and we are working for ourselves. Okay, then their efficiency will increase. So this is what mental revolution says. So when there will be change in the outlook and attitude, there will be harmony in the company and there will be no discord in the company. The third principle is cooperation, not individualism. What is the meaning of cooperation, not individualism? It says that work must be carried out in cooperation, mutual confidence and understanding. See, this principle is just the extension of the previous one, that was harmony, not discord. Okay, whenever there is no discord, no conflict, rivalry in the organization, there is harmony in the organization, that will lead to cooperation, not individualism. That means that instead of thinking about oneself, the worker, the manager, they will start cooperating with each other. So when they will start cooperating, there will be an atmosphere of an environment of mutual confidence and understanding. That means worker and manager must work in cooperation. Okay, so there should be equal division of work and responsibility. This principle lays emphasis on equal division of work and responsibility. Means what? See, if the manager will involve workers, they will invite their suggestions, and if they will involve workers in taking decisions, setting the targets, fixing the standard, then that will motivate the worker actually to work for that. Okay, so there should always be see, while assigning duties also, the management should ask the workers about their interest, about their what kind of work they want to do. Okay, and if accordingly work will be assigned to workers, then they will get motivated, they will work, they will cooperate with the manager. So this principle says that there should be always cooperation but no individualism in the organization. The last one, or the fourth principle, says development of each and every worker to their greatest efficiency and prosperity. So how the worker will reach their greatest efficiency and prosperity? See, the industrial efficiency, it depends on the efficiency of the workers. If the workers in an organization, in an industry, is very efficient, that will lead to efficiency of the industry actually. So industrial efficiency depends on worker efficiency. This is one important point. The next, how we can or how the worker can achieve greatest efficiency and prosperity. Workers can achieve this when there are 2 points taken into consideration in an organization. So the first point is proper selection. While selecting the worker, the manager should always see the job requirement. If the workers are selected on the basis of the requirement of the job, means according to the qualification required, the experience required, and if then the workers are selected, then this will lead to efficiency and prosperity. And secondly, what we have to give? We have to give them proper training. Time to time training should be given to the workers. So if proper selection is done and time to time training is given, this is the second point. If time to time training is given to the worker, then this will ensure greatest efficiency and prosperity of the worker. So these are the 4 principles, scientific management principles, which we have discussed today. In the next class, we will discuss the techniques given by F.W. Taylor. Thank you.